Hey folks, it's AJ again. I just wanted to make a quick video here to show you how to use Dungeon Alchemist in conjunction with Fantasy Grounds. Now, as you can see here, I have created a map, and this is, if you're in the know, then you know, this is the church at Barovia in the Curse of Strahd campaign. I've made this, I'm running this campaign for some friends of mine, and they are in the church now, so I thought I'd give Dungeon Alchemist a shot at making it, and it's amazing. It's Dungeon Alchemist, folks. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, okay, good. So now what we're going to do, I've got the map made. Making the map was, of course, Dungeon Alchemist, the easy part. We're going to go to File. We're going to export this. We're going to select our VTT. It'll do Roll20. It'll be Universal VTT. It'll do the image only if you just want the JPEG. But it'll also do Foundry here. We're going to do Fantasy Grounds export. We're going to do an orthographic, a top-down map. Because we're using Fantasy Grounds, of course. We're also going to allow it to render lights and images and export to VTT. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go with a high quality image. We can change the transparency on our grid here to make it brighter, or to get rid of it all entirely. I like a little bit of a grid there, just so I can see it okay. And then we're going to click Export. It's going to ask me where I want to export it and what I want to call it. I'm going to put this on my desktop, and I'm going to call it DA map, Dungeon Alchemist map. DA map Barovian Church. Okay. It's going to save it as an XML file, so I will save that. And boom, there it is, DA map Barovian Church. Now you'll notice there are two files. One is the JPEG file, and the other is an XML file. I'm going to highlight both of those, control click or shift click, and right click and copy them. Alright, I'm going to do that for a specific reason. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to open Fantasy Grounds, and I'm going to come up here to Fantasy Grounds. There's a folder button there. I'm going to go into Campaigns. Now I've got a campaign that I call AJ's Construction Zone. It's where I just do fun stuff. I'm going to double click that to open it, go into Images, and now I'm going to right click and paste both of those files, DA map Barovian Church, the JPEG and the XML, into that folder, and then I'm simply going to close it. Now I'm going to load that campaign, AJ's Construction Zone, and this is going to take a few minutes because Fantasy Grounds is Fantasy Grounds, so I'm probably just going to edit this part of the video out or skip past it so that you don't have to sit and watch. Alright, it looks like Fantasy Grounds is loaded. Hey, good deal. Alright, now I'm going to maximize the window. I'm going to close this. I'm not even sure what that is, so that's fine. And now I'm going to go into Images and look for DA map, and I'm not finding it. Now this threw me for a loop when I first saw that. It's not there. Where is it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to open Images, and I'm going to add item. I'm going to click this green button down here to create a new map. Alright. Then I'm going to blow this up nice and big so I can see it. I'm going to go over here to Assets, look for Images. Down here I'm going to search for DA map, and there it is. There's my DA map of the Barovian Church. What I'm going to do now is simply drag and drop this into the new image, and there we have it. I'm going to maximize this so you can see, but now you can already see that the lighting effects are in place. There are shadows here. Let me get a character on a combat tracker. Alright, I've got human fighter Harry on the combat tracker, so I'm just going to take him and drop him into the church. Alright, let's pick that up and check the grid. Did it do the grid right? View the grid. No, it didn't do the grid right. Okay, so that's easily enough fixed. It knows that the grid is 150 by 150 because that's what Dungeon Alchemist exports it as. I can use my arrow keys in Fantasy Grounds to shift the grid over and down, and since I know that the grid is the right number of pixels, if I line up one square, I line them all up. Now I can do that. Now let's go back and get Human Fighter Harry here and drop him in the map and select him. Maybe. Play, enable player vision preview. Now I can select Human Fighter Harry. I can move him around the map, and you can see he can see through the windows. Comes down here. There are doors. I can click the doors and open them, and then I can go into. Why isn't it? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it's doing that. That's odd. Alright, well that room worked. And this room is completely dark. Oh, there's no lights in those rooms. And Human Fighter Harry is a human fighter. That's the reason. Okay, good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a token light to Harry. We're going to give him a torch. Click there. Now, go back to the play, and look, Harry can see in the dark because he has a torch. Right. So anyway, that is how you export a file to Fantasy Grounds from Dungeon Alchemist. Now, over here, I did the Chapel Undercroft because I just want to keep it on the same map. There are no doors in here, so when the DM goes to when the players go down the hatch, I'll have to figure that out. Probably disable line of sight and then just drag them over the walls and enable line of sight again. Good. And now Harry here. I added this room just so I'd have a place to put my players. Harry can go into the Chapel Undercroft and explore around, and it's very cool with the light. And over here, of course, those of you who know that he will find, well, something. I don't want players to see this. So that's that. That's exporting a file from Dungeon Alchemist to Fantasy Grounds. Again, my name is AJ. I hope that you found this useful and helpful and entertaining, and laughed with me or at me either way as we bumbled through this. If you like this kind of content, if you want to see more Fantasy Grounds and Dungeon Alchemist stuff, feel free to drop a like, a subscribe, maybe even share this video with some friends of yours if you feel like they might get something out of it. And we'll certainly appreciate it. Again, my name's AJ, and thanks so much.